Welcome to Starwater Radio. I'm so happy to have you guys. These radio shows that we have are just so. I love how deep we can connect on a soul level. It's amazing because I know I'm not the only one out here with abandonment issues. But guess what? I've done some deep diving and I've really realized what can heal me and maybe some of you. Obviously, like, these people could not show up for us, right? These people went out of their way to neglect us. And by the way, neglect is a form of abuse. That is such a healing experience when you've been betrayed to actually just release that person, let them lose you. Okay? So we're letting go. And at the same time, it's really important for us to be able to analyze why these people dropped us, like why they couldn't show up, because this is going to help us empathize and basically really just release the trauma. It's not personal. It's not because you're not good enough. It's actually probably more than likely the opposite of that. You were probably too good. If you're watching me, I know it. No, seriously, this is a lot of the root cause here. So let me explain to you. In many different communities and like friend groups, and especially my family, I noticed a very sharp change in the dynamics of the relationships I had in the past when I went into more of a ownership of myself. I became more self-loving and less people pleasing. And I noticed, like I said, that shift where people were just changing the way they treated me. Before, I was really accepted, you know. I really had a lot of people that smiled at me and would talk to me and want to be around me because they could control me. They could see that I was weak and trying to please them. But as soon as I came into that role of really nurturing myself and loving myself, people were like, pew, gone. Absolutely nowhere to be seen. And a lot of these people were like family and friends that should be in my life, but they're not because they chose to abandon me. Now, I didn't do the whole victim dance, okay? I went off and lived my awesome freaking life. And a lot of this has come full circle recently because I'm back home and I've gotten to investigate a little bit what's been going on with the abandoners who abandoned me. They, let's just say they didn't go anywhere. The reality that they manifested for themselves is a much denser, fear based, lower frequency earth plane. And I'm realizing on a very deep level, like these communities that just like shunned me after I had worked for almost like a decade building up the community, I noticed that they literally didn't have the privilege to work with me or to be in my life. I couldn't understand why these people would just not have the capacity to like me. It's because they literally did not have the advantage to. They had to pay into a system that fed them, even though it meant going along with other leaders and spiritual teachers like racist freaking backward bull BS, you know, and just lacking in any type of real deep spiritual knowing of the land and their connection to it. They had to connect themselves to other people that were coming with such a shallow agenda. Because why? That's what they could afford. They are in debt, not only monetarily, but spiritually. So maybe for you, that is the reason as well. These people literally didn't have the privilege to know ya. Okay? The the humiliation that you went through of them neglecting you, it really skews your mind and your idea about this. It makes you think that you were nothing, but in fact you were everything. Now that I've come full circle, I've seen the decline in these people's lives. You know, what happens when you settle? You sink, basically. You go down into a lower nature, a lower version of yourself. So that's what I'm seeing all around me. These people didn't get away with shunning me and abandoning me. They're literally watching me thrive. I'm just doing my little one-handed handstand balances while they're rotting away and just completely disgusted with themselves, divulging in their envy, getting nowhere. And that is why I wanted to share this with you, because that is healing for me in some way, because it makes me understand that I was okay. I'm not perfect, but I definitely didn't deserve that amount of punishment and that that amount of abandonment from the people that were supposed to love me, my family. I just think it's very ironic how like many of them are like secretly trying to watch me now and pretending like you're not here. Yeah, it's that Aurora song I love so much. Where did they fall? Yeah, you guys, you went nowhere. I'm still your teacher. And as time goes on, it's going to be more evident. I mean, there was like so many communities that got so freaking weird around me once they knew that I just was not controllable and I wasn't like a bot for the system. I remember there's one YouTuber in particular, she got so massive. I like the way she did her videos in like the very beginning, but she blew up, and I saw some of her videos recently and I didn't even recognize her. You know why? Because all the money just bought her a bunch of plastic in her face and sadness, and she's completely half of who she used to be. And I'm sorry to say that, but her community was super rude to me and just like dismissive of me and trying to like pin me against her. It was like this weird catty that went on. A lot of my peers, like when I was basically in that spiritual community, are influencers now. Like they became big, and just coming full circle, they're so empty inside. Like I see it, like they're lost. And yeah, they got paid, and yeah, they have big numbers, but they literally look like they've been just stripped away of all their power, and now they're looking to me and hovering around my energy field, trying to feed off of me. And it's just like, wow, the this this level of lowness is real. And of course had to abandon me. Of course they had to leave. They literally couldn't they literally weren't allowed to stay with me, and that's just how it is. On that note, I'm so thankful for my loyal people who have surrounded me energetically with that love unconditionally. And I just want to thank you, because it's really fueled me in a time where people were just so low and people just couldn't ever handle anything about me. And that's okay, because like I said, we can gather that information and see that they really just didn't have the advantage and the privilege to be able to work with me. And